Hey everyone, it's Cannan, and welcome to the official release date of Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, the remake. It's a very great day to be a Story of Seasons fan and a farming sim fan altogether. Sadly, I do not yet have my copy. I have to wait until Thursday, because that's when Amazon says it'll be here. Also, excuse me if I have to clear my throat or anything like that. I apparently pulled a muscle in my throat, so yeah, it feels like I've got a really bad sore throat, despite not being sick, so I apologize for that. So, Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. I gotta tell you, this was one of the games that I had a feeling would always get a remake, but never wanted to put too much thought into it because, well, you just never know. I mean, Friends of Mineral Town got a remake. Why not A Wonderful Life? But, I decided to do something different with this video, just play the trailer and talk for a little bit about some of the new changes that have come to this remake and just my overall feelings on it and what I plan to do with the game once I receive it. So as always guys, if you enjoy our content, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click that like button, leave a comment. Now let's get to this. So I remember when A Wonderful Life came out in 2003 for the GameCube, and it was a very different product compared to past Story of Seasons games, which at that point was called Harvest Moon. And really, I didn't know what to think of it. It was a much different game. It had features in it that you had never seen in a Story of Seasons game before. Your character and the characters around you actually age. There are some that even pass away. Your animals actually had to be kind of tended to, just like in real life. If you left them out in the rain, they could get sick and die, which could technically happen in other Story of Seasons, especially if you didn't feed them. But in this one, you had to actually get a bull so your cows would be able to get pregnant, not just use a potion like in previous games. You also had to get a rooster if you wanted your chickens to lay eggs, which was very different from that day and age. And of course, your cows would not always produce milk. They would actually stop after a while, and you would have to get them pregnant and them have a calf so you could actually get milk again. So yes, you didn't have eggs and milk every single day to try and make money with. You actually had to put a lot more work into this game, which a lot of people loved and some didn't. There was a lot of people that complained that the game moved way too slow, and that's funny because A Wonderful Life actually had two other versions. There was Another Wonderful Life, which was pretty much the girl version. You could play as a female protagonist. And then there was the special edition on PlayStation 2, which, you got a new marriage candidate. It added a few new things, but sadly the PlayStation 2 just for some reason could not run that game. It is well known for having very bad frame rate issues, and yeah. But it looks like the remake is pretty much the original, Another Wonderful Life, and with the included extras in the special edition all in one go. So this is pretty much going to be not just a remake, but many could say is the definite edition of this game. And now, it's funny because they've actually taken some of the things out of the game that were in the original. Like, cows will now give milk no matter what. There's a few that are upset about that, but there are a few that are happy with it because, hey, you don't have to worry about not having milk or eggs to use in cooking or to sell. Also, unlike the original, we actually have more festivals in this. And that was the thing that I really did not like about the original. The original seemed very bare bones a lot of ways. There was not a whole lot of festivals. I think there was only really just one. And this one, apparently, they added more. Also, this game stands out. Not only does your character and the other villagers get older, but your child does as well. In past games, you were lucky if your child grew beyond its baby stage. But in this game, your child not only grows into young adult life, but into adult life. And you have a way of deciding what kind of job they will have. Will they inherit your farm and become a farmer just like you? Or will they maybe become a doctor, become a scientist, become an artist, become a musician? It really depends on what you push your kid to, and also it depends on your relationship with the villagers. And that's another thing I want to move to. This game is, in a lot of ways, a lot more linear than other Story of Seasons games, where you could pretty much do whatever you want. This one, it's like, for example, you have to get married within the first year of the game. If you don't, it's a game over. And that's different. Usually you could go forever if you wanted to without getting married. And then again, in those old games, you could be married within the first year if you really grinded. Also, the village is not as big as other past games. It seems like at that time it was Forgot-Me-Not Valley, and the remake it's called Forgotten Valley. There's not as much, it's not as hard to get a high affection rate with the other villagers, and apparently there is over 70 scenes in this game, like special events, which is always one of the fun things about these games, and that is unlocking and finding these secret scenes that sometimes you didn't even know if you unlocked them or not until they happened. Now, of course, it does lack compared to some other games in some things, like there is no mines, there is an expedition dig, but it doesn't have multiple levels, and really most of the things you'll only find is like fossils and things like that. This version will have 8 marriage candidates, 4 guys, 4 girls, all of which can be married regardless of your gender, and there is also a non-binary option. So yes, they have added that, so that is another great addition. If you do not want to be referenced as a he or she, there will be a non-binary option. And of course, you've got the animals. It looks like, as in the original, it's going to be chickens, cows, sheep. You'll get a horse. And also, at the time when the original came out, it added goats and ducks, which were new at that time for the series. So it looks like those will be returning as well. And unlike the original, you can breed goats and sheep. So it's not just the cows that you can have young ones for. Sheep and goats have been added. So yes, this looks like it is going to be a very enjoyable remake. I'm glad that they went for a different art style besides the chibi style they went for Friends of Mineral Town, though don't get me wrong, I love that game, and it's still to this day probably my favorite game in the series. And you've also got to remember, this game does bring tears to some people's eyes on how it ends, because this one actually does have a definitive ending, which also kind of makes it different from the others. Because like I said, this one is a bit more story-based. It's a bit more linear than other games. You actually have an ending to work towards in this. So that's why I have decided that I will be doing a Let's Play series of it, because it's a bit more easier to play in the Let's Play format than, say, Friends of Mineral Town, Pioneers of Olive Town, Rune Factory, all those games. So yeah, happy release day. But sadly, I will not get mine until Thursday, but I will have a first episode up as soon as I can. I got the premium edition for PlayStation 5, so maybe I'll add a little unboxing at the beginning of the first episode. I don't know. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click that like button, leave a comment. As always, guys, this is Canaan. Me and Jess love you all very, very much. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you watched my Let's Play, and if you're a Farm Sim fan like me, I hope you're really excited about this remake of an all-time classic. And guys, I will see you in the next one. See ya.